Let's get on Thacker, and Wicked for Good follows a significant time jump from the first Wicked, where we see Elphaba continuing her goal to save the animals of Oz. Now, if you remember before Wicked came out, I was just mildly interested in it. I mainly just wanted to see Jeff Goldblum in the world of Oz. But I came out extremely surprised by it. I ended up loving it. It was fantastic. One of my favorite films of last year. And so I was super excited for Wicked for Good. It was one of my most anticipated films of this year, and I was fully prepared for this to become a great duology. So now I've seen Wicked for Good, I am very disappointed. Yep, I hate to say it, but Wicked for Good was ultimately a very low good. I don't think it's bad. There are many good things about this film. The cinematography is excellent. It really makes this film feel so whimsical. The choreography of the musical numbers is great. It makes it feel so grand. The musical numbers themselves are just as big as they should be. The songs are so great, I love them. The acting is fantastic. It makes the characters very compelling. The effects are great, computer and practical. The set designs are beautiful. I love the developments of the characters from the first film. For the most part, I'll get into that later. Overall, the first hour of this film was great. It was doing everything a Wicked sequel should have been doing. But after that first hour, there is a single moment where I can point to where this really starts going downhill. And that's the moment when Dorothy enters the film. Now, this is not a prequel to the Wizard of Oz film. This is an adaptation of the Wicked play, which is an adaptation of the Wicked book, which is based on the Wizard of Oz film and the original Wizard of Oz books. It's just another adaptation of the story of the Wizard of Oz. But with that said, I don't think it should have been. A complaint that I did have with the first film that was very few and just kind of annoying were the references to the Wizard of Oz, trying to lean into the nostalgia of that film. Even though, again, they couldn't be direct references, because Universal doesn't own that film, that's Warner Brothers, which soon will be Netflix and or Paramount. But it was just that, a slight annoyance. It didn't take away my love for it. I still thought it stood great as a film on its own, and not just as a prequel to The Wizard of Oz. But this film, after the first hour, feels like it forcefully breaks itself and then mends itself just to fit and connect to The Wizard of Oz. Things happen to these characters. There's plot points and twists that just don't feel like this is where the story should have naturally went. It overall gets caught in being a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, instead of just telling and finishing its own story. Unlike the first film, this film cannot stand on its own. And man, was that really a disappointment. I loved that first film so much. I still do. And I was so excited to see the conclusion to this story. I guess I'm not mad at where the story does conclude. Like, it doesn't on a note where I'm satisfied enough with it, but I really wish it would have gotten there better. And what makes me even more frustrated is that this is probably the same case with the Wicked play. I've read that most people agree the second half of the play is far weaker than the first half. The half the first film was based on. They had a chance to improve on the second half of the play with this film adaptation. And some stuff is changed, and I've overall heard it is better than the second act of the play. But as I've heard, that's not a very high bar. I wish this film would have changed stuff. It is a very faithful adaptation, but that's not necessarily a good thing. I wish it would have improved the story, because it could have. There are little things they do improve, again from what I've heard. So I wish they would have changed everything after the first half of this movie, to not make this a good adaptation of Wicked, but just a good film. I still did like Jeff Goldblum as the Wizard of Oz. And one of my wishes I mentioned in my review of the first film is that I wanted a longer Jeff Goldblum musical number. Play the clip. And if there's one thing I wish Wicked Part 2 has, it's a longer Jeff Goldblum musical number. Which was granted and it was great, thank you. But overall, Wicked for Good ended up being a huge disappointment. It's not bad, but it's a very, very low good. And I say, if you do like that first film, only watch this if you are just desperate to see how the story concludes. But if you just want to leave this duology with just haven't seen the first film, that's fine. But now we're getting to spoilers. As I already mentioned, this film forced itself to connect to the Wizard of Oz. And that really was its biggest problem. Forcing characters like Bob to become the Tin Man and Fiyero the Scarecrow, it's not natural development for those characters. And like I said, it's very forced. I also would have minded if Elphaba had died from the bucket of water. The film already ends on a bittersweet note, and that would have made it a bit more bittersweet if not even downright sad. But I'm also fine with Elphaba living. I'm fine with her having a happy ending. Even if she does just abandon her goal in helping the animals of Oz, and goes beyond Oz with Scarecrow Fiyero. I guess Glinda does end up finishing what Elphaba started, so everything does get wrapped up in the end. The film just didn't lead to that in a very good way. And the pretty big twist happens in the last 5 minutes of this film, the wizard being Elphaba's father. It comes out of nowhere, but I wouldn't have entirely minded the twist. I guess the explanation of since Elphaba's mother and father from different worlds explain why she's magical. Not that we need that explained, but it's fine. But that's not a twist you revealed in the last 5 minutes of your film. We don't even get Elphaba's reaction to this. I guess it's a good enough reason for the wizard to leave Oz. He thinks he just killed his daughter. But if you're going to do a twist like that, you have to actually explore it. Do something with it. Don't just do it. It's things like that that didn't just leave me disappointed with this film, it left me frustrated. I want this to be good so bad, and it could have been, but it wasn't. Again, Wicked for Good's a low good. I'm very disappointed and I don't recommend it. Also, if you enjoyed this video, you should like subscribing. Bye, kiss for now. Bye, Scarlet Thacker.